All right. Looks like we're live today. We have a great episode. We're going to be talking with Shawn Dunn, who is the co-founder of Top Draw Wrestling. We'll be talking with him about that, creating family-friendly entertainment, and his love for all things Louisiana. So it's going to be a fun episode. Today we have our studio sponsor, that's Optimize GP, Optimize Generator People. If you're looking to power your home with confidence during any outage, you're going to want to check them out, especially during the season that we're in with hurricanes and the weather kind of getting squirrely. No kidding. Yesterday, there was some storms that rode through. I want to say it was like 60 plus mile an hour winds. My patio furniture, which is pretty heavy, shifted over, and would you know, the power did go out for like a little while, like maybe a few minutes. And for a split second, I was like, I should probably get a whole home generator. Not even kidding you. I was like, and then we were in the dark. It was really dark outside. So Optimize GP, Optimize Generator People, they have reliable home standby generator solutions. So as soon as your power goes out, I think within less than 30 seconds, this whole home generator kicks in. It's ran off of natural gas or propane, whichever, they'll know, they're the experts, but I just know it runs off of gas and it will kick on as soon as your power goes off, and it runs your entire house. So like your AC, your refrigerator, your stove, like literally all of that. OptimizeGP.com is their website. Check them out. And we really appreciate them supporting local businesses. And with that, let's get on with the episode. All right. And our presenting sponsor is Chase Group Construction. They take the lead and become your one point of contact for the entire design build process. So if you're looking to build a business from the ground up, they'll design it for you. They'll build it. Really great local company. Really appreciate their support. And with that, let's get on with the episode. All right. So Shawn, welcome to the T Podcast.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
So tell me a little bit about you, man. Are you originally from the Lafayette area?
So I moved to Erath when I was about 10, I guess. I'm from Louisiana, but I'm from, I guess, Buras, Louisiana, down by Venice, the very end of the world.
Buras?
Yeah, so I guess Louisiana the boot, it's the toe of the boot. It's all the way down there.
Wow.
But I moved here when I was about 10, so I've lived here most of my life.
Okay, so Erath, huh?
Yeah.
Big old town of Erath.
We got a couple stoplights now. We're doing good. Yeah. We're doing good.
No, so what ultimately got you guys into this area?
So Lafayette is such a prominent area for us because we come up here for everything. You know, we don't have a movie theater anymore, so we had to come up here for that. We have, the mall, we have Target, we have all these things, these huge local business. I say local, these huge chain businesses, but we have a lot of local things too, and we wanted to be as drawn together as that as possible. We even have people from Vermilion Parish helping us, supporting us as well, but we try to be in Lafayette as much as possible.
Yeah. Okay, so when did you guys move to Erath?
2000.
2000.
Yeah.
And you say the year 2000. I'm going to say that you were roughly, I'm not going to try to age you here, but I think we're in an alignment. You were probably, the year 2000, you were probably, 14, 15 years old?
I wasn't even that old. No,
Okay.
I was 10 when I moved here, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, so in 1999, I was 13.
Okay.
So you and I feel like we're pretty close. Yeah. Okay. So from Erath to Lafayette, when did that happen?
So, I mean, I've come up here quite a bit. I mean, it's probably, 25-minute drive, give or take.
Yeah.
I guess my fiance is from Kaplan, so everything we do, we come up here, food and everything else is all in Lafayette.
Right.
So as a kid, when I moved here, I moved to Erath, moved to Abbeville, and those small towns. Coming to Lafayette was like going to New Orleans for us, because we had to go to New Orleans, go to Walmart from where I'm from, and it was it's a great experience because everything's so much bigger in Lafayette, right? Because we have a couple stoplights in Erath. It's not like it's a huge area. It's a small knit community and everybody knows each other. In Lafayette, it's not quite like that, obviously, because we have so much more area. And when we came up here, I said 2000. I moved, and I guess as a teenager, I'd come up here for events and go to the Cajun Dome and things like that. So I was always in Lafayette, but for the most part, for Top Draw at least, we came to Lafayette as our starting goal because when you tell people you're from Erath, nobody knows what you're talking about, right? But when you say that you're in Lafayette, Louisiana, everybody has an idea. You know, you talk about Dustin Poirier, you talk about the people that we know from this area. It draws them to it. So we wanted to make sure we were a part of that.
Yeah, yeah. All right. So tell me, how did you guys, what's your connection with wrestling? I mean, obviously, you know, back whenever we were all kids, you know, the wrestling was a big deal, and it still kind of is.
Right.
But I remember, you know, Stone Cold Steve Austin, you know, of course, that's when The Rock was The Rock and not the Hollywood version that he is now.
Yeah.
That's whenever he had, in my opinion, he had that baby weight. He had that. He still looked a little round, a little fluffy, but he was still built, which is weird. And now he's like more chiseled.
Yeah.
So that era of wrestling is what I remember, and I remember toys also reflecting that. There's these little stuffed wrestling men that you can wrestle with, wrestling buddies. I forget what they were called.
So they have those still today, actually.
Oh, wow.
You can get customized ones for certain people. So I've always wanted one. I might do that too. But I've watched wrestling since I was a kid. My dad got me into it, and I never thought it was a possibility, you know, to get in the ring. Long story short, I met a promoter. He introduced me to a friend to a person who's one of my best friends now, and he trained me, and I've been doing it ever since. I've always been athletic. I've always liked sports. I just didn't know this was even possible, you know, because again, those guys seemed larger than life when we were kids, you know, The Rock, Stone Cold, Undertaker. That was just amazing characters, but we didn't know that with them. We thought they were just these huge superstars. You know, Hogan, who just passed away, Hulk Hogan, it was a big deal to us as kids.
Yeah.
And I think that watching my kids now see what we saw, it's such a great experience for them, because like my kids love watching me wrestle. They hate watching me get beat up, but they love watching me wrestle. And it's been fun. So getting to do that, it was never a goal because I didn't know it was possible, but it was definitely something I was excited to do whenever I started.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So have you ever been to like one of those wrestling events where it was Stone Cold Steve Austin? Have you ever been to one of those what is it, Monday Night Raw type places?
Yeah, so like at the Cajun Dome, we've gone to a few of them. I've been to WrestleMania, which is their biggest event of the year. We went to the one in Dallas, matter of fact, WrestleMania 32, right when they built AT&T Stadium. And Stone Cold wasn't promoted for the event, but it's Texas, so you assume he's gonna show up. Shawn Michaels came out, had a great reaction. Mankind or Mick Foley came out, great reaction. And then Stone Cold's music hit. I'm talking about 100,000 people in this bill. I've never heard anything like that in my life. It is truly larger than life for people like that, because it is just it's bigger than the event, you know, because that person built that company, or he helped build that company. Yeah. And it was an amazing experience for sure, but it's something I'll never forget.
Yeah, man. One of the things that, you know, this is going to be kind of, for certain people, nerdy, I guess, or geeky. I don't know which one's the right one for you. But I remember being a kid and watching wrestling, being really, really, you know, fangirling over Stone Cold, Steve Austin. That was that was the guy for me. But there was others. You know, they had what was it, Triple H. I loved watching those guys. This is when NWO was also a thing.
Very much.
With Sting and all those guys. Right. Was it Sting? Is it?
Sting was in the NWO Wolfpack, which was the red and black one, but yeah, he was in it.
Yeah. So that era of wrestling for me was like super. That was like what I grew up with. Now I remember wrestling a little bit before that. That was what was it? It wasn't WWE. It was WWF.
It was, right.
And I remember being a kid watching the rebrand from WWF to WWE, thinking, what's going on? Like,
do you know why they did that?
No, why did they do that?
Because the World Wildlife Foundation was they were trying to get more politically correct, and they couldn't fight that. They couldn't be a part of. They couldn't make them change it, so they changed their name instead.
Wow.
So the WWF was the World Wildlife Foundation, which I think is a panda logo, right? They didn't want to be associated with that because they didn't want to make people think they were attacking animals or things such and such. So they changed their name instead, and now they're the WWE.
Okay, well, I guess that makes sense. Whatever. But WWE has been around now for a long time. I think, well, actually, you may know, when did WWF start?
WWF started in the 80s. I'm almost positive. Vince McMahon's father started the company whenever there were still territories going around, and there was the WWF. I can't remember the exact, I want to say it was in the 80s.
So I think it's fair to say that WWE has been around longer than WWF.
Yes, so it started early 2000s. They changed the name after the Attitude Era, and they went into the PG era. It was the WWE, and so early 2000s. So it's been around for 25, give or take.
Yeah, hey, that's crazy. That's how much time has passed. Good Lord.
And you talk about guys like Triple H. You know, he runs the company now. He married Vince McMahon's daughter.
Oh my goodness!
When Vince went out, I guess he started running the company a few years ago. Before that happened, and you know, when he was in D-Generation X, the whole point was they were taking over the company then. So it's like the longest storyline in history because he actually is running the company now.
That's amazing. But, okay, so I don't watch a whole lot of wrestling today, right. But I'll still. There's certain, wrestling figures that I'll keep up with. Of course, with Hulk Hogan passing away, that was like tragic because the dude, I mean, everybody at some point is going to die.
Yeah.
But people like that are seemingly larger than life, you don't expect it.
No.
Like, especially with him being built and by all visual cues, very fit.
Yeah.
To pass away, it does something in him. I mean, it's just wild.
It does. And regardless of your personal opinion about the man, what he did for wrestling, it wouldn't be where it is today if it wasn't for him. And like I said, regardless of your personal reflection of him, Hulk Hogan, the character, is larger than life. And as a kid, you hear eat your vitamins, say your prayer, and all these things, and that okay, I'm going to do that.
Yeah.
And it's now, looking back, it's hard. It's been a rough year. I mean, you got Ozzy and then Hulk Hogan, and there's been so many losses this year. And I saw someone say someone needs to rubble wrap Willie Nelson as soon as possible.
Oh, I did see that. Poor old dude. Willie Nelson, though, he's on that green, and so he may be living for a whole while.
Exactly.
So one of the wrestling characters that is really significant to me, besides Stone Cold Steve Austin, which I think everybody knows that guy. But I'm slipping on the name, but I know him from snapping into a Slim Jim.
Macho Man.
Yes, dude, that guy. His appearance was quintessential, like 80s, early 90s vibe, like. With the big glasses and everything, and like the way he talked, I loved it. I was like, that to me, whenever I think of wrestling, I embody that character.
Absolutely. And you talk about guys who were gone too soon, and obviously everybody passes, but he was definitely taken a little too early. But that character was phenomenal. I mean, you can't ask for more because the way he talked and the way he presented himself, and like you said, the 80s and 90s character that he presented as far as his gear what he wore. It was so much fun to watch, and he was a great wrestler too. His stuff he did in the ring was fantastic.
Yeah,
the stuff he did with Hulk Hogan, those two guys were great. And like you said, those larger than life characters, people like that. And then obviously you think of Slim Jim, you think of him, and there are more people that are associated with it now with wrestling because they're still a sponsor of WWE. But you think of Macho Man when you think of that.
Yeah, I mean it sticks. Like I snap to a Slim Jim type thing, you know. Every time I go down the aisle where the jerky and Slim Jims are, I think of Macho Man, and I'm like, gotta give me a Slim Jim.
That's right.
Now that is literally corporate branding propaganda to the T, but it works.
And even still, after he's gone, it still works.
Yes. Oh gosh. Okay, I want to go ahead and get my next sponsor in. We're at about 15 minutes in, and we'll continue the conversation. I think this is going good so far. So, real quick, our next sponsor is Music Academy Acadiana. There's their website and logo on the screen there. Their website is musicacademyacadiana.com. If you want to learn music, or if you have kids that are interested in learning music, this is a great school to do that. They have over 500 students in and out each month, tons of students, tons of instructors. Founded by UL Lafayette Music School graduate Tim Benson, who is also known as Bert Timpson in a emo screamo / alternative rock cover band called The Criers. So if you are into that, like My Chemical Romance type music, A Day to Remember, all those things, they do all covers of that, and they actually have an album out. You can look it up on all the streaming stuff. Really cool. Recorded, I'm pretty sure, inside of their in-house award-winning studio that you can also record an album with them. If you learn your music and you get good, you can record an album there. So musicacademyacadiana.com, they're a great local school. Check them out. And with them, we appreciate their support. All right. So going back to wrestling and everything of that sort, I obviously I'm gonna still throw in a couple of like references from the old days and things like that, but over the past couple of years I've noticed, and this has been probably much longer than I've noticed it, backyard wrestling has grown in popularity. And now the face that you're making tells me that you have something to say about it. Go ahead. What do you got to say about backyard wrestling?
Like I said, I've been a wrestling fan since I was a kid. So I've been doing backyard wrestling since I was a kid. It's kind of taboo for wrestlers, for guys that do it professionally and then independent even, because there's a slogan that WWE has used for a long time: "Don't try this at home." And we've all tried it at home.
Anytime somebody tells you don't try this at home, you're doing it at home.
Yeah,
you're doing it.
I know, and I've jumped off of things. I've done the trampoline, the pool. We've done all of it. And yes, now it's kind of more popular because there are people that are part of pro wrestling that do backyard stuff for YouTube and everything else, and it kind of grows in popularity. But it's so terribly dangerous. And I didn't, obviously at the kid, I didn't care, but now it's like, I don't want my kids to play rough, but I don't. Oh, it's so rough. It's bad.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Like taking the metal chair and to the back.
Right.
Like I think we tried that. I don't know if it was with the metal chair, but it was definitely with objects in the house. And we were just like, boom. And then we do the whole, what's the elbow move where you jump up and you.
The elbow drop.
Yeah. God, obviously it's called the elbow drop. It would be. Yeah, and then there were other moves that I can't remember right off the top of my head that we would just perform on each other. Why would we ever think that was a good idea? We were kids influenced by wrestling on TV.
I mean, I've done stupid things at school, at home. I mean, I said in the pool, on the trampoline. You could think of it. We've probably done it. And it probably stemmed to why I do it now. But it's more so... And I know it's all in fun, but it's extremely dangerous, and I would recommend that no one try it if they can help themselves.
Yeah, please don't try that at home.
But there are safe ways to train to learn how to do this, and we have schools all over the place. We have a school right here in Lafayette, and it's a great tool. It's a great thing to learn, but I would recommend doing it safely.
Yeah. Some of the videos that I have seen. Now, the videos that you're going to see on social media are going to be the ones that are like jaw-dropping, like, oh my God, did that really happen type thing. And some of them have been these guys, backyard wrestlers, thinking that, oh, I'm going to climb a 12-foot ladder and jump onto one of those wooden folding tables. Right. Thinking, oh, I've seen it on WWE. Yeah. It breaks in half.
Right.
I'm going to jump, and it doesn't break in half. It breaks you in half. Yeah.
I've seen like awful videos, like at football tailgate games where people are doing that stuff through tables and they just kind of bounce off of it. There's ways to do it. I hate that there's a bad F word that people say called fake. It's not fake. It's scripted. It's an entertainment, but it's also a certain level of preparedness that we go into this with, and you can't just do it like that. I think that And again, I've done a lot of the stupid stuff where I've jumped off of things, and as a teenager and a kid, and I wouldn't recommend it. But I mean, at the same time, like I said, there are safe ways to do it. I've seen entire reels on that TV show, Ridiculousness.
Oh yeah,
where they just show people getting hurt doing stupid stuff like that.
Ridiculousness took over MTV,
Right.
and yeah, you could watch Ridiculousness on loop for 24 hours.
Yeah, you can. It's on all day long.
But you would see some of the most ridiculous stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And wrestling is a part of that. People do it in their backyard. They film it because, I mean, I love people that are filming this awful stuff happening, and the camera just stays there. Nobody.
Oh yeah, nobody helps.
No,
nobody's like, oh no, this is depending on what era of social media you're in, they're like, oh, this is going on Vine, or oh,
Right.
this is going on
exactly.
or yeah, do it for the gram, or do it for the Vine. Depending on what era.
Yeah.
Yeah. So there are like stigmas with wrestling, depending on, what type of wrestling you watch, especially with backyard wrestling. People, some people think it's great in the sense of like, oh, it's harmless, quote unquote. Or some people look at it as something that you should not do because it's not safe.
Right.
And it definitely isn't if you do it the wrong way.
Yeah.
If you're just having fun, I think it's fine. But if you're jumping off a 12-foot ladder onto a wooden table, you're probably going to get hurt.
Yeah.
So for those that are watching that may not be well-versed in wrestling and all the sense of it, Top Draw Wrestling, what are you guys doing? What are you guys for? How do you, I guess, educate people on what you do?
So first and foremost, we are a community-built company. We want as many people from Louisiana in general to come to these events, and then all around the country, if we can, to come to these events and experience this entertainment. We don't want to say, watch what we do and go do it. That's obviously not the case. But we want to provide a place where people can come, see some pretty intense stuff, but also enjoy themselves at the same time. So we want to partner with local businesses and get their name out as well. We want to make sure that everybody's on the same, I want to say pedestal. That's not exactly what I mean, but everybody's on the same wavelength as far as what we're trying to put across, because it is a violent sport. A lot of people don't like it because of the violence. We can't go to certain places and do events because of the violence from it. But it's contained, it's controlled violence. It is a source of entertainment.
I love that. It's a contained and controlled violence.
Yes, it is. And there are times that we get hurt. It's an unfortunate consequence.
Yeah.
But we have trained ourselves to do these things, and we are prepared for those things. We wouldn't want anyone to go home and do what we are doing and then hurt themselves, obviously. And again, there's a school right here in Lafayette. There's a school I know of in New Orleans. There's a school I know up in North Louisiana as well. There's so many options that you have. There's no need to take that risk without being prepared beforehand.
What I find fascinating just in general about wrestling, boxing, UFC, all of those things is that we as a society love to watch people fight and get hurt.
Yeah.
What is wrong with us?
I mean, you go back to the Roman Empire, we had the Colosseum. That was what it was about. And obviously, we're not as gruesome. Obviously, there are some pretty bad stuff that happens, but it's the endorphins that you get from it. And what's the word? The excitement that comes from it. It is something you can't feel in a lot of other things. Watching football, it's intense. It happens. Basketball, baseball, those sports are fun to watch. But whenever someone's hitting someone, someone's throwing someone, someone's doing these things that are more aggressive and more violent is the word. It draws your eye. It makes you want to watch. And even if you're not a fan and you're flipping through the channels and it comes on, you're going to watch for a second. You're going to catch something.
Yeah. I mean, what's crazy is babies. Okay. And where I'm going with this is that whenever you're trying to entertain a baby, some of the most giggles and laughs that you'll get from a baby is when a baby watches someone, quote unquote, get hurt. Mm-hmm. A baby or a toddler will laugh hysterically at someone getting hurt.
Yeah.
whether it's fake or not. Usually parents fake it, but like, why? Like, it goes like so deep. Like, we're so young in our fascination and thinking that violence, safe violence, I guess, if you want to call it that. I don't condone violence, but we think it's like we enjoy watching others get hurt. It's weird.
It's an odd thing to think about, because when you break it down, it's kind of a masochist type thing. Is it's not you getting hurt, you're watching someone else get hurt, but it's the thing that, like, my oldest son is 16. I remember when he was a baby, it was the same thing. I would pretend to punch myself. He would thought it was the funniest thing on the planet, and it was kind of, it was a game then, and now he watches me wrestle. Obviously, it's still a thing for him, but it's just like it's a very odd thing to think about when you break it down. But it's as a society. And a lot of people can say they don't condone violence, and I agree. I don't either. I don't think anyone should fight outside of a competition. But I don't think that it's a negative. But also, if you go into it thinking that it's going to be something extremely awful, I mean, you're going to get something awful out of it. But if you watch something aggressive and something intense like fighting, wrestling, UFC, whatever the case may be, the endorphins, the excitement, the intensity that comes from it, it gets to be kind of addictive almost, right?
So I think there's something to be said with, we enjoy the entertainment of violence because we know that there are lines in the sand as far as how bad it can get.
Right.
We know, as a society, if we're watching UFC, I consider UFC to be pretty on the scale of, you know, WWE, boxing to UFC. I consider UFC to be the most gruesome of the three.
Absolutely.
Because you're guaranteed to see blood, typically. If it's a good fight, there's going to be blood, there's going to be bruising. But what you know, typically, and what you expect as a viewer, that no one is going to die. You know, could it happen? Yeah. I mean, there's some things that can happen.
Absolutely.
I've seen videos of people getting really hurt. I'm like, oh my God.
Yeah.
Did I search for those videos? Yes, I did. Because I'm a human, and I was curious to see if people get hurt in UFC. This was when UFC was just becoming really popular. Right. I'm talking about like, oh my God, 2005 to 2010, in that range.
I remember.
Yeah. And I remember watching some of these fighters essentially lose control, and the person is knocked out, literally out cold, and the person is wailing on them. Now, that I don't like. I think obviously there's refs, there's people in place to protect the other fighters, but like that right there was like, oh my God, this is unhinged.
There's a certain requirement in a person to do a sport like wrestling or fighting or anything like that kind of violence. It takes a certain kind of person, because it's not for everybody, right? I think that, and especially in the UFC, and I remember watching it back then, because a lot of wrestlers initially, I say a lot, there's a few wrestlers when it first started that were doing that could do both. And I remember watching it and thinking that there's a line, and in wrestling, most of the time that line never gets crossed. In something like UFC and MMA, it's very blurry, because it's up to the ref's discretion. It's up to, if there's a promoter, it's his discretion on what he's going to allow to happen. And it's a really fine line. And then to an MMA and stuff like that, it's kind of blurry. We don't want to, we don't want to cross that in wrestling, because there's such an entertainment value to it. And people know that again, it's scripted and it's entertainment. But people know that next week, those guys are still going to be there. Freak accidents happen. They've happened in football. You know, they had a gentleman, Damar Hamlin. I love that he's doing okay now, but like, he had a freak accident on a football field, never being touched, heart attack. You know, that stuff happens.
Yeah.
What we do, it's such a fine-tuned sport because we do practice, we do have many repetitions, and we've trained for a long time to do this. And in fighting, these guys train for months before they ever step in the ring for one time for, you know, 5-minute rounds or 3 5-minute rounds, whatever it may be. And you have to understand that there is a line. You have to uphold that as far as your expectations, because you're getting something different with MMA than you're getting with wrestling. You're getting something different with boxing than you're getting with MMA. You really have to go in understanding what you're going to expect.
Yeah. Yeah. The entertainment value that wrestling provides is very, like you said, very different. The expectations are different. Watching wrestling is almost like the biggest hype house. Like,
oh yeah,
the fans are screaming, and they're every time a move happens, whether you perceive it as a real injury or a fake injury or all a scripted show, whenever you just, I guess, as long as you don't overanalyze it and just enjoy it for what it is, and watch, because a lot wrestling, especially WWE, is very storyline, very
for sure
personality driven, right. And so if you know that and you just go with the flow, it's very entertaining. Yeah. It's very fun. It's like, okay, I get it. Yeah, this guy did this move, and everybody goes, "Ooh, you know, that guy had it coming," type of thing. With UFC, MMA, I mean, you're watching it going, okay, I don't think anybody's going to die, but right. Like, we don't know what to expect because it's perceived to be unscripted.
Right.
Now, is there some scripting happening? I can't say it. It doesn't seem to be. But yeah, wrestling is very different. On that note, what does Top Draw Wrestling essentially stand for? What do you do? What is your company?
So we want, like you said, storylines. We build those. We want people to come in and know what they're going to get as far as this is happening with this guy, this is happening with this guy, this team is doing this, so on. Because when they come in, they're excited, yes, but whenever that show starts, whenever the announcer comes out and he kicks off the event, we want them to be like in their seat, buckled in and ready to go. So what we try to do is there's a lot of promotional material on social media. There's a lot of YouTube videos, TikTok videos, to where we can kind of amp that up beforehand. So as a company, what we are doing everything in our power to prep you beforehand, so that when you get there and this guy says a certain thing, that draws that reaction. That's what you're looking for. You're looking for the reaction, whether it's good or bad. Because either way, you're there, you're experiencing it, right? So as a company with Top Draw, and I've wrestled for a few other companies, and I think that it's really the general gist of what we do. But for us specifically, we want people to come in and leave on a high, on the utmost level that they can, whether it's because they really, really love this guy or because they really, really don't like this guy or girl. I don't mean to specify, but just because they really don't like that person. Because you're looking for that reaction. Unfortunately, one of my favorite experiences as wrestlers, I made a kid cry. I felt terrible about it after, but that's what I wanted. I wanted to draw that reaction out, right?
Yeah.
And they come in, they're expecting one thing. If they leave and they got that, that's what we want. We want them to get their money's worth, and that's what we're really trying to do. Because it's not I'm not in it to become rich. I'm really not, and it's not something I could do for free. But it's something that I do for fun because I love the sport.
Yeah. And
I want people to come in and experience what I love, right? And what we're trying to build is something bigger than just, hey, we're gonna go to this event. We're going to Top Draw. We're gonna go experience what they're doing.
So Top Draw is, correct me if I'm wrong or misunderstanding it. So Top Draw Wrestling is essentially you're doing essentially what WWE does for the mainstream, right, but in a local sense. Do you rent out, or you have a space, you have a ring? Like, are you the company that facilitates the environment, or are you also, or both, or either, or what, the company that trains wrestling or wrestlers or inspiring wrestlers to become a wrestler? Like, go into that a little bit. Like, what is do you provide the facility? Are you the promoter? Like, are you the trainers? Like, are you all of it?
So the eventual goal is to have our own facility. We don't yet. So what we do is we go rent venues that can hold the capacity that we need. Right now, we're doing things. We're partnered right now with Northside High School right here in Lafayette.
Oh, really?
And
Nice.
we're doing our events there. We've done 2 so far this year there.
Why? So why Northside High? Is that were they the only school that was willing?
They're one of the few schools that we reached out to that actually gave us the time of day, because again, a lot of people don't like the sport as far as a whole, right?
Yeah.
And Northside's doing some really great things with their programs. They have this entire summer league basketball.
Okay.
They have a lot of things going on in their school that they're building up. The new administration there is top notch. They really are. So right now we're partnering with them, but we'd go wherever we could that we could fill the people in, right? But I think that for us, eventually the goal is to have our own facility and be able to do those things. We don't train wrestlers yet. We don't have a school, but we do. There is a school right here in Lafayette, like I've mentioned, Louisiana Wrestling Alliance. Joey Jackson is a phenomenal instructor. He has a couple of other instructors under him that are phenomenal talents as well. And they train wrestlers. We bring in people from all around the country. We keep some here in Louisiana as well, but we try to bring in people from Texas. And I have a couple from New Jersey. I have Kentucky, Florida even. So we're bringing other people in. We are the WWE, like you said, is mainstream. What we do in other companies as well is we're considered independent wrestling company. We do our own thing. We're not as, obviously, production value is not as high because we don't have the TV deals. We don't have the high technology cameras and things like that. But you get a much more intimate feel with us, because for $2,000 you can sit front row at WWE. For $25 you can sit front row right in front of a barricade 5 feet from the ring and meet these people throughout the night, because they're going to come out, they're going to sell t-shirts, they're going to meet you, they're going to sign your posters that you made, or whatever the case may be. It's such a more interactive and more, I say intimate, because they get to be so much closer to the action and closer to the wrestlers too, because they're still larger than life. These characters that these guys have built are supposed to be these monsters, or even gladiator type feel, where you see them in the store, because they're from New Iberia, but at the same time, hey, I saw that guy wrestle last weekend, and it's a big deal to these, especially the kids. I've met a few kids that I absolutely love. That's my favorite part of this, meeting kids and they remember you, and it's just one of the greatest feelings. We want that to happen for everyone. We want them to come in and be able to experience that with Top Draw.
Okay. So in one of your wrestling events, hosted at Northside High, as you said, right?
Right.
Okay. What is the average attendance look like? Give me an idea of the scale of the operation that you guys have.
So we've had shows that at meta capacity, if we had a smaller venue that was 200 people. We've had shows that I've wrestled for other companies. Top Draw hasn't pulled these numbers, obviously, but I've wrestled for shows where 1,500 people before. Top Draw, we've averaged probably 250, 300, maybe a little bit more.
That's a small church.
I look at the numbers. Yeah, absolutely. Because you look at 200 people, you pack them into a small area. That's noisy. I mean, it gets loud.
Yeah, and
they're excited. So I mean, it gets to be pretty intense.
Yeah. I said small church. Y'all don't get offended if you have a church with a congregation of 300 people. You have a good sized church.
Absolutely.
Don't get offended.
Absolutely.
But there are churches out there, whether you agree with it or not, that have thousands of people. So just wanted to put that out there, making sure I clarify. 200, 300 people is a good sized church. Let's just say that. Okay, so that's a decent amount of people,
right, in
a space. That's noisy. I go to a church, FYI, that's about 300 people. And so that's why I say this. And let me tell you, we are an active vocal church.
Right.
For those who know, And it can get noisy. So I can imagine a show being very entertaining as far as like themed music and intros and lights, and I'm pretty sure you have a lot of that. Walk me through, as if I'm a spectator coming in, what am I going to expect going into a Top Draw wrestling event?
So one thing that we love about our community is, especially with the music that we have around, is I have a friend who's a musician, and she's helped us kind of schedule this, or I'm saying compile this playlist, right? So when you walk in the door, there's music playing. You're already involved in the environment, right? Get to your seat. Show kicks off. We try to kick off the door, or try to open the doors at 6, kick off the show at 7 o'clock. 7 o'clock on the dot. The announcer's in the ring. Lynn is a top-notch announcer, really is. He's a fantastic spokesperson for what we're doing, and he is getting you hyped. He's getting you ready. One of our other wrestlers has his own podcast of sorts, but he goes to other shows and he interviews people about what their music brings to their event or brings to their character. Everybody that comes out has their own music, has their own video, has their own package put together for whenever they come into the ring. It really gives you a sense of who that is before they ever even wrestle.
Look, I love that. I love that. I think back to being a kid watching WWE, and you know, I go back to that. And whenever I would hear, I don't, if I can remember correctly, was Stone Cold's intro glass breaking?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. As a kid, when you hear that initial sound of the song, of the intro, like you just there's that like almost like I would say almost goosebump-ish type feeling. You're like, oh my God, like it is. Once you, especially once you know who it is, like once you start finding out who your wrestling character you like the most, or like you lean towards, you get excited when that sound breaks, and you know they come out and they're in their full gear and running to the stage, and you know, like, oh, crap's about to go down. Like,
and that's what I was talking about. Like when I said WrestleMania, whenever that glass broke, that's the loudest noise I've ever heard. That it does, it gives goosebumps all over, man. It really does. And we got, like I said, guys from New Iberia that have wrestled. They're the Overboys. They use "Take Me Home Tonight" as their song. When that plays in that building, it's crazy the level of the noise that it gets to. I'd love to take a decibel reader in there and see how loud it gets.
Oh, yeah.
It's got to be crazy.
I'm pretty sure it's a good reading there. Okay, so a typical event, what's the average length? You know, a couple of hours, I'm sure.
Yeah, we try to finish by 10. During the summer, it's not so crazy, but we know during the school year when we're running, they got kids that are coming. They want to get them to sleep, and we don't want to keep them out too late. There are times where we do events where it's just adults, and we can run a little later if we want to. But for the most part, we try to finish by 10, get everybody out of there at a decent time so they can get home. So we run probably from 7 to 9, 9:30, something like that.
Yeah. How do you, like obviously using channels and social media like you're doing today, but how do you get the word out for not only spectators, but like how do you get connected with wrestlers and say, hey, like how do you, like, do you want to come wrestle for Top Draw? Like, what does that look like? How do you grow the company? So
the great part about being a wrestler myself is I've been doing this since 2009. I've met a lot of people. I've met people that I've never thought in my life I'd get a chance to meet. So I have a few connections there as far as people on my phone and Facebook and things like that. So yeah, I'll reach out, say, hey, we're doing this event here. Would you like to be a part of it, or do you have the availability? Because a lot of people are booked up. So I try to get them as far in advance as I can too.
Do they have fees? You have to.
Oh yeah, everybody has their own booking information as far as what they need for if they need a hotel or things like that. It really breaks it down as per person of what they need. Because obviously, some people do this as their living, right? So they're going to make their money. When I absolutely respect that. We have a budget that we try to stick to, but for the most part, we're pretty good about it. And then the guys come in, they sell their T-shirts, they sell their
so they have other revenue streams in the show.
Yes, sir.
What's the farthest as you've had a wrestler travel in to fight?
Probably our women's champion right now. She comes from Newark, New Jersey. Is where her flight comes from.
Wow.
Yeah.
All right. New Jersey, huh?
Yeah.
Oh, I can imagine the attitude behind her.
She's got something with her for sure. She's special. Her name's Vanity. Love her to death. She's really a top tier talent that we have, and she won our championship the end of last year, and she's been able to hold on to it. So she's doing great.
Another thing that wrestling is known for is the women, the girls.
Yeah.
Do you guys have an element of that? Like, I don't know.
Well, it used to be so explicit
Yeah.
Right. So it used to be such like bra and panties matches and stuff like that.
Right.
Women now some are better than men as far as how they wrestle. So we really wanted to focus on that. So we
Yeah.
have an entire women's division. They have their own championship that they struggle for. We brought in a few talent from said New Jersey, Florida, Texas especially is full of women wrestlers. As far as the level of talent is extremely high. I think that especially what they're doing in the WWE now is set the stage for women now. It's so much better than it used to be because they used to just be an eye-catching point. You know,
Yeah, it was all
right.
objective at that point.
Yeah, and I love that they're getting
Or
their
subjective,
shake now.
rather.
Right. And I love that they're getting their shake now. And at Top Draw, we definitely want to focus an entire part of our show on just what the women can do for us.
Yeah. No, I love that, man. Okay, so we are at about 45 minutes. I want to go ahead and start landing the plane and ask you about your character. You said a couple times that you wrestle and you've been wrestling for a while. The whole time that we've been talking, I've been trying to imagine what your character is and what persona you have. And you have a very nice beard.
Thank you.
Very great beard. And I'm trying to like imagine like what character can I align with? Like I think WWE, like if I comparison, and you know, I'm struggling. I feel like you have a unique character. So tell me, what is your wrestling persona?
It's completely opposite of my actual personality.
Okay.
That was really the thing I wanted the most when I started because I think that I'm a nice guy, right? So I wanted to be the
bad, not so nice guy,
right? Or the bad, not so much a bad guy. I am most of the time, but I wanted to be something a little bit more aggressive and more in your face. So you mentioned Sting. I took a lot of character from that. Sting, Brock Lesnar. That as far as the intensity goes, I come out. I have a dark trench coat that I wear. I wrestle in a wrestling singlet, but it's got crows on the body. I've got a graveyards that run across my thighs. It's a darker character, but it's very in your face.
Not
it's
the Undertaker, huh?
No, not quite that much. I love the Undertaker. I took some inspiration from that as well. But it's dark in that sense, though. Yeah, but it's just much more in your face than I am as an individual. But I get to have a lot of fun with it because I tell people this. So like when you go through the curtain, it's like a switch flips because I get to be somebody else for a little bit. And it's a lot of fun. I get to draw people in, whether it's good or bad. And it gives you a sense of, it's acting in a way. And it's very therapeutic almost for a lot of people, especially even for me. I get a lot of takeaway from it.
Yeah. So this is very, this could be completely left field the way I'm imagining it. But when you say therapeutic, and it's a wrestling, so there's some element of violence to it in a sense. I liken it to someone who has, let's just say you're using wrestling as an outlet for, I don't want to say speak for everybody, but as an outlet to release, you know, maybe some aggression, some anger, maybe it's a therapeutic sense in that direction. But like when a kid, I say kid because, you know, when you're kids, you're going through changes and life doesn't make sense. You know, it's better to take out your frustrations and do things to a pillow than to an actual person who's unsuspecting.
Right.
So I almost feel like there's not a direct connection, but almost an element of like, hey, on my normal day-to-day, I'm a nice guy. Yeah. I think both you and I are in alignment. We're nice people. We don't ever hardly get loud or aggressive or angry or any sort of that.
Right.
But they're like, I feel like if I were to ever have a wrestling character, I think, you know, I would be more aired on that side of like, I don't know how you would describe it, but someone who would have more of a little bit pent up kind of like angst to them.
For sure.
And have that persona. And I feel like once you're done with that quote unquote act, you get out and you go home, and then you almost had like a mild release of like things.
100%. And so on a personal level, I've struggled with anxiety and depression my whole life, and this wrestling has done for me what football did for me as a teenager. It was an outlet. It was a release for me, and then the next day is like a cool off period because it takes a little while to come down from that because the high is so high. A lot of guys do it for the money. A lot of guys do it for the fame and all this. I do it because simply it is fun for me. It is a lot of enjoyment. It's a lot of excitement, and my kids love seeing it because they'll go watch WWE on TV and then say, "Well, my daddy does that," and that's a great feeling for me. And
I love that.
yeah,
I love that.
and I think that as an outlet, it has helped me in ways that my therapist never has because it's just like you said, punching a pillow is a heck of a lot better for you than punching somebody else because you can spend a night in a jail cell compared to spending a night in your own bed is a big deal. And finding that has been great for me. There's a lot of people I would love to thank for that because it's been phenomenal.
Yeah.
It really has.
So, last thing, did you bootstrap this? You're a co-founder. Did you guys bootstrap this, or did you have investments of some sort?
Man, this has been 99.9% Dylan Guillory and me. We have done all of this. Dylan does so much for us as far as the production, social media, getting sponsors, getting venues, things that we've done, things that I've seen done for other companies with a whole team. Dylan and I have done ourselves, and we have a team. We have a bunch of people that support us as far as our general manager and the guys that help in the background, Jacob and Italy and Lynn and Scotty and everybody that has helped us, and it's been phenomenal. But Dylan and I put in so much work and our own money and our own time, and it's been. I would love for an investment. Trust me, I really need an investment. But no, it's been us.
Man, I love that. Okay, so tell people how can they find out about you guys. Obviously, you have a website. It's in the caption. It's topdrawwrestling.com. I'm pretty sure that would be the best way. But let's just say someone's interested in going to a show,
Right.
or let's say they're interested in becoming a wrestling persona for you guys. What would be the best way for you guys to interact with spectators and wrestlers?
So you can go to the website. You can buy tickets for our next event that we have upcoming soon. We'll have a date for you guys. Or Facebook especially. We're very responsive on Facebook, on Instagram, any of the social media platforms, really. You'll get either Dylan or me. We'll be the ones responding to you, whether you want to come to a show or you'd like to participate in a show. I can also, if you're looking to get into wrestling, I can connect you with Louisiana Wrestling Alliance and get you some information there as well. Send us a message. Let us know what you need.
And I just saw on your website, and I just while you were letting them know, I showed your website on screen, and so you have an event coming up called Grit and Glory. Actually, tomorrow.
It was supposed to be tomorrow. We actually had to pull that event. We
really?
had some struggles with the venue and such, but we are rescheduling this event. We haven't had a date put together yet, but we will soon.
Okay, cool. There you go. FYI, the date on the website will be rescheduled soon. But on the website, the background image is an image of a couple of wrestlers who they have purple pants. What is it, Slime?
Oh man, I love these guys. So Slime season. They are from New Orleans. They wrestle for a company called Wildcat down there as well, and they are our tag team champions. They are phenomenal. Their new gear is hilarious. It's got like Cinnamon Toast Crunch on it, and it's perfect. Their characters are hilarious.
I love it.
So to give you some reference, so Buku is the shorter one and Jay is the taller one. Their finishing move, Jay will put the guy on Buku's shoulders for a power bomb, and his legs start to shake. It is the greatest finishing move I've ever seen a tag team do. It's really, really fun. And Jay will go and do a spin kick and knock the guy off. It's great.
Oh, I love it.
It's so their entertainment alone is worth the price of admission.
Yeah. Awesome, man. Look, this has been really good. You know, I every episode that I do, there are a lot of times when I invite people on directly because there's something I want to talk to them about. But there are times when people reach out, and I think you reached out.
Yes.
And I had no clue how the episode was going to go. And for me, I love that because I have to live in the moment of the conversation, and I don't have much time to like really plan. I don't really know what I'm going to ask until I'm in it. And this has been, in my opinion, for me as obviously the person sitting on the couch, what I feel like was one of my better episodes.
I appreciate that.
Yeah. I could tell in the beginning you were slightly nervous.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm very shy
naturally,
and
there's
laid
a
back,
mic.
so.
But yeah, man, this has been solid, and I appreciate you coming on. Now I know a little bit more about wrestling. Of course, more so than I've known before, but now about independent wrestling organizations, because I never really done a whole like dive on like independent wrestling companies and like why do they exist and whatnot, but hearing a little bit about what you guys have, it makes sense because, you know, not everybody can be in WWE. That's like that's almost like getting a platinum album as an artist.
Right.
You know, it's really hard to achieve. Being in the UFC, like Dustin Poirier, that being top, that's hard to achieve. But you have people that are starting from the bottom, and also they get into kind of like I want to say a mid level, and for a lot of people, that's where they want to be. That's perfect. And I feel like, you know, independent wrestling organizations are that. That's like, you still have that entertainment value, but you also have that really hyper local feel, and you get wrestling personalities that you may have never seen before that you might even like better than national talent.
Absolutely.
Yeah. I love that.
And it's a stepping stone. And I've been blessed to work with some people that are now in the WWE. And there's some guys that work with us now that I know are going to be there. I love seeing that. And I think that seeing the guy now, hey, I saw him in Lafayette. Now he's on WWE. It's a great thing for the kids and for the people that love the sport as much as we do.
So who do you have you seen before? Like, what's a wrestling personality that you've seen start mid-level like this and go into the WWE? You know someone particularly?
Yeah, so there's a young lady on WWE right now. Her name is Roxanne Perez. She's wrestled in Texas for the most part. We've been on a couple of cards together. I've never worked with her directly, but I've met her before. Phenomenal talent. So she's on the WWE now. I've worked with oh goodness.
I know, I'll put you on the spot.
Put me on the spot. I said Roxanne was the first one that came to mind. That's who I was thinking of when I said that. Jacob Fatu has wrestled for a few of our companies around here. He was on a big independent run before he got called up.
You get called up?
It's essentially, they are the professional level. They are the NFL to what NCAA is, and we are the minors. And it's I hate looking at it that way because I love what we do, but it is a stepping stone. It is
but you are a facilitator to help those people grow.
Right.
Like, and I think that's a great spot to be in.
Absolutely.
Because you get to see the come up story.
Right.
Yeah.
And as a promoter, like there's a couple of people I was trying to get a hold of before they got, called to WWE, and I wasn't able to get them, but I love seeing them that they've made it that far, and I aspired for it when I was younger. Now I love doing what I do. Like you said, that mid level. But there are some talent that is extremely capable of making it. And so they work for Top Draw now. I would love to see them make it eventually. So
love it. Man, Shawn, it was a great chat with you. I love this, and maybe one day I'll bring my son to go watch one of the shows.
You let me know. You can come anytime you want.
Yeah, I'd love that. I'm not sure what he would think of it yet, because I think he's like probably have seen a little bit of wrestling, but like to see it in person, like I've never been to a wrestling show in person, so I'm pretty sure it'd be just as exciting to me.
It is. I feel like, and I'm biased, obviously, because I do love the sport in all levels. But I feel like seeing it up close and personal like that, it gives you such a different viewpoint on it.
All right. Well, cool, man. So, again, the website for those listening and watching is topdrawwrestling.com. You guys have social media and all that good stuff, too?
Top Draw Wrestling on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, all of them.
Yeah. So, go check it out. And if you're interested in checking out one of their shows, just follow them, and they have one being rescheduled now. But yeah, with that, man, I hope you have a great weekend. And I look forward to checking out one of the shows.
I appreciate it.
Yeah. All right, guys, that is it. Hope you have a great weekend, and we'll see you on the next one.